Nam Atma Nigraha Hava Samsadhyatietat Om Namasanuchati. Translation. And satisfaction, simplicity, gravity, self-control, and purification of one's existence are the austerities of the mind. Purport. To make the mind austere, it is to detach it from sense gratification. It should be so trained that it can be always thinking of doing good for others. The best training of the mind is gravity in thought. One should not deviate from Krishna consciousness, but must always avoid sense gratification. To purify one's nature is to become Krishna conscious. Satisfaction of the mind can be obtained only by talking the mind away from thoughts of sense enjoyment. The more we think of sense enjoyment, the more the mind becomes dissatisfied. In the present age, we are unnecessarily engaged the mind in so many different ways for sense gratification, and so there is no possibility of the mind's becoming satisfied. The best course is to divert the mind to the Vedic literature, which is full of satisfying stories, as in the Puranas and in the Mahabharata. One can take advantage of this knowledge and thus become purified. The mind should be devoid of duplicity, and one should think of the welfare of all. Silence means that one is always thinking of self-realization. The person in Krishna consciousness observes perfect silence in this sense. Control of the mind means detaching the mind from sense enjoyment. One should be straightforward in his dealings and thereby purify his existence. All these qualities together constitute austerity in mental activities.
So there are so many things to discuss here, and we can dedicate this week to this. And I would like you to prepare for the next, for Wednesday, something that you find in the Bhagavad Gita related to thinking and to the mind in other verses and other purports, something that especially is relevant to you, something that you find important, something that you would like to share with others, and something that you are maybe already using or you would like to use. So then we can have a more interactive discussion. And of course today we can also have interactive discussion and discuss this verse and purport, and there are so many points inside that Srila Prabhupada has given, practical points that we can try to apply. So it's interesting that the verse starts with Mana Prasada Somyatvam. Mana Prasada means satisfaction of the mind. So the austerity is satisfaction. Keep the mind satisfied is austerity. Why? Because it sounds like contradictory, it sounds paradoxical. Because in Kali Yuga especially, the mind has a tendency to be dissatisfied. And the mind of the conditioned soul, because it's always thinking of sense gratification, it cannot be satisfied, because it says in the purport that the cause of dissatisfaction or the cause of frustration is when the mind thinks of sense gratification. And there is so many distractions, so many objects of sense objects created by the modern consumer society, that when you go shopping or when you go in the city in the streets of the great cities, then you can find so many windows of shop windows, and if you go to the supermarket you can find so many products that you can buy and you don't know what to buy. And sometimes you went you go to a shop and you cannot buy anything because it all has some ingredients that you cannot offer to Krishna. There are so many things, but you cannot buy them. You cannot offer them. So there are so many things to actually try to enjoy, so many offerings, and the mind becomes absorbed and bewildered, and the mind wants things. Nowadays, on Sundays, people don't go to church, they go shopping. They go to the shopping mall, and they have fun with their kids, and they play, and they go to a little restaurant, and so shopping is a new religion, at least for Sunday or for some other day. And then when people buy things, then they feel a little bit happy, and they bring this at home, and then they think, how can I enjoy this? And there's, I don't know if you know about this, I think Oprah Winfrey, she made some programs about people who accumulate things. Do you know about this? It's called hoarders. Hoarding means accumulating things. So they have a house full of stuff. They buy things because they're cheap. So she asked them, so why did you buy this? You're not using it. But because it was cheap. So they buy so many things, and the house becomes overwhelmed with things. They have no place to pass anymore. It's so full. All the rooms are full. And it's some kind of disease. So then they get a coach to train them and to give up things and to destroy things, by force. Then they are crying or something. They get attached to their stuff. So the people think that if I have something, I will be happy. And some people think if I do something, I will be happy. And some people think if I am something, I will be happy. To be, do, have. To be, to do, to have. And if someone is Krishna conscious, he actually has all three. He is someone, he is a devotee, he does something, he does devotional service, and he has something, he has pure devotion, he has pure love for Krishna, he has association of devotees, so he is a rich man. So consumer society is offering so many things to think about what we can enjoy. And always offering, bombarding us, what is the next movie? Now, if you look at the news, like BBC News, they say, what movies you could watch during the quarantine, during the lockup, what movies you can watch, and then people want to get lost in that world of movies or games, computer games. And now, here is given a clear direction what to think about doing good to others or welfare of others, to think about Vedic literature, different stories that are in Vedic literature, to speak about this also. And Srila Prabhupada has given us these books so we can absorb our mind in thinking of the content of the books. There is amazing things in the books. So another simplicity, if you think in a way to simplify things, then that can make mind peaceful. And this is austerity, to simplify things. The mind always tries to complicate things. Gravity, seriousness, also. To be serious about self-realization. So self-control means when the mind tries to wander away, then you keep it under control. Acharyas address the mind with, like Raghunath Das Goswami and Bhaktivinoda Thakur address the mind with my dear mind, and then they preach to the mind. So you can sometimes try to develop this inner dialogue, how you talk to yourself, self-talk. You can have a positive self-talk or a spiritual self-talk. And occasionally you can observe how you think. You can observe how you think. So during the day, a few times, you can actually stop and observe how you think, observe your thoughts, and see, okay, what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about my future, I'm thinking about the epidemics, I'm thinking about death, I'm thinking about Krishna, I'm thinking about Krishna's pastimes, I'm thinking about the next service I have to do, I'm thinking about my future, I don't know what will be my future, I had so many plans, now I don't know what will be with these changes on the planet Earth. So you can actually, because you are not the mind, you can actually observe how the mind thinks. You can observe also what you are feeling, so you become conscious of what you're feeling, and you can also observe your desires. These the three functions of the mind: thinking, feeling, and willing. These are three functions of the mind, and there is two functions of the mind: sankalpa and vilkalpa, accepting and rejecting. So when the mind is under the control of the senses, the mind accepts whatever senses suggest. When the senses are under the control of the mind, then senses cannot dictate to the mind what to accept and what to reject. But the mind is above the senses. Bhagavad Gita says that the mind is above the senses. The mind is above the senses, and therefore the mind is stronger than the senses. The mind is stronger than the senses. So, therefore the mind can dictate. The mind can dictate. And if intelligence is strong, also, intelligence also can guide the senses and the mind. So therefore, by reading Vedic literature, by reading Srila Prabhupada's books, we actually develop spiritual mind and spiritual thinking. We already have spiritual mind, but this mind is now covered, and spiritual mind can be awakened and reactivated by the process of chanting the holy names of the Lord and studying the Vedic literature and reading the Vedic literature. And you can also read aloud when you have a chance. You can read aloud. It's very powerful. It's much more powerful than just reading within the mind. But reading aloud, vibrating, this transcendental sound vibration. Purification of one's existence. Now, purification of one's existence is here related to being straightforward in his dealings. But how can you be straightforward in your dealings if you are not straightforward with others, if you are not straightforward in your dealings with yourself or with your mind? So you have to become straightforward in your dealings with your mind first. So you have to be true to your values, as we spoke several times, being true to your values. First of all, you have to define what are the principles and values by which you want to live. What are you following? And then stick to it, be true to it, be straightforward with yourself, direct, open, honest, and then you can be direct, open, and honest with others. We are all very enthusiastic to tell others what is wrong with them and to correct others, but actually we are not so enthusiastic to correct ourselves or to be corrected by others. This is how conditioned souls think. Liberated souls, they are enthusiastic to be corrected and not to correct others. Vaisheshika Prabhu has given like a historical statement. He says, I was born to be corrected. This is beautiful, but actually it's true. We are born to be trained. Trained means we are corrected. Trained or retrained. So we have been born to learn how to serve God, how to serve Krishna, and how to serve devotees. So this is very important, straightforward in his dealings. Straightforward in his dealings. Recently I had a conversation with one devotee coach about integrity, and she said she will write an article about it, so I will share it with you when it should be ready by 25th of April. I will share it with you when it's ready. I asked her some questions about integrity because she has experience with coaching and working with herself on her spiritual life for 20, 30 years. So integrity is so important. Integrity means you walk your talk, between what you think, what you say and what you do, there is no difference. That's integrity. So be integrated with principles also, being principle-centered. So here we have this principle of straightforwardness. And so what is mean to make the mind austere? It means to detach it from sense gratification. To stop the mind thinking about, especially about sinful sense gratification. And now, all these austerities that are mentioned, actually after some time, they become pleasure. They are not austerities anymore. If you practice austerity of speech, as it is described in the previous verse, after some time this becomes a pleasure to speak in this way, truthfully, pleasantly, not agitating others, reciting Vedic literature. It's not austerity anymore. So these austerities and yagyas that we do, like Sankirtan yagya, is called sacrifice. But after some time, what kind of sacrifice is this? It's this great pleasure to dance and chant. It's a great pleasure. So this is one point about so-called austerity. It's called austerity, but actually after some time it becomes joy and pleasure. How can be satisfaction of the mind? How can satisfaction of the mind be attained? By taking it away from sense gratification. But you cannot just take it away from sense gratification and think about nothing. It's not possible. You have to think about something, so that means you have to have a positive engagement for the mind. Positive engagement. So we can choose. Do you know that you can choose what you think, that you can choose what you feel, and you can choose what you desire? You can choose how you feel and choose what you desire. Did you know that? Well, you can practice actually choosing what you think. When the mind starts to think about something and you don't like, you can say, no, I don't want to think about it. I want to think about something else.
Is it working? If I say something, I don't want to think about it. But still the ideas comes.
Yeah.
Mind is going, always pulling in that direction. I tried many times. I don't want to think, but still somehow it will wait for the time exactly. At that time it kicked me, so immediately my mind immediately shifted to that direction.
But that means we have to train the mind. So if your mind tells you, I want to think about the faults of others, and you don't want to think about the faults of others, so you say, why are you saying this? Shut up. And then the mind says, well, if you think about the faults of others, you will feel good about yourself because you will feel that you are better than others, so it's not so bad. And then you say, well, that's not a very good proposal. I don't agree with this. So, or it wants to think about killing someone, wants to think about harming someone. So all these things we don't want to think about. We want to avoid these things. Yes?
May I ask?
Yes.
So as far as I know, for example, if we have energy, we take something, energy firstly develops here inside, we don't know. And then later it comes outside. We have leaves or something. And so how to hold the emotion comes, and then after the emotional comes, there's how to say thought or reaction or speaking what is much more voice. How to stop it on this emotion level?
We don't want to stop emotion. We want to purify emotion. Because emotion is a symptom of life. Different emotions are a symptom of life. So we cannot stop them, we cannot kill them, we cannot destroy them. So, but we want to purify them. So we have to see what's the quality of my emotions, how I'm feeling about life, how am I feeling about other people, how I'm feeling about relationships, how I'm feeling about Krishna and my relationship with Krishna, how I'm feeling about my service, how I'm feeling about my self-discipline, how I'm feeling about my negative feelings, for example, if you have negative feelings. So we ask ourselves, how I'm feeling about my anger. I feel very bad about my anger. I am angry at my anger. So, and it's very easy to get angry at others, and my proposal is get angry at your bad habits. You understand? Get angry at your bad habits. And for anger, I have a very good medicine. Every time you get angry, you can give me 50 euros. Okay? The next time, when you get angry, you will think twice. Does it pay off to get angry? Or give it to the temple, or give it to the BBT. If you really want to overcome anger, then you can start paying, and you can see if it helps you. It's a very simple technique, but it works. You can save a lot of money.
You should prepare many 5 euros.
How much?
You should prepare 5 euros, yes?
Not 5, 50.
50?
50 euros. 5 euros is nothing. You can easily get angry and pay 5 euros. That's nothing. But 50 euros is something to scratch your head about a little bit. Or 50. So, yeah, every time you get angry, you can give me 50 euros and I can engage them in Krishna service. Just like I posted on Facebook that if anybody has an extra mobile phone, I can happily engage it in Krishna service. And I got this iPhone, one devotee sent me iPhone. And this other similar like this, another phone I also got in a similar fundraising campaign. Actually, I wanted to mention something that I forgot when I was playing. I don't know if you know about this singer called Norah Jones. You've heard about Norah Jones. So somebody sent me a video where she plays a song called "I'm Missing You, Krishna." I'm missing you, Krishna. She plays at home on the piano. And then I looked a little bit, who is she? She's the daughter of Ravi Shankar, famous sitar player. From his second relationship from some American woman. Her mother is some promoter. Her surname is Jones, so she took her surname. And actually her name is Gitali Shankar. But then she changed her name to American name and became a very famous, 50 million records. 9 Grammy Awards. You know Grammy Awards? This is like for high achievement in music. And I think 2 days ago there was her father's 100th birthday. He has died, but he would be alive. And she made this song because he made actually this song about, I think he made this song about Krishna. And she was singing, "I'm missing you, Krishna." So I have shared it with on my Facebook. I have shared it, and I don't know. I didn't share some of you. I shared this GodCon virus. You have seen GodCon virus, no?
GodCon virus.
No, God consciousness. I sent it to some of the devotees from here. God consciousness virus. It's maybe 20-minute. Breaking news that devotees created. It looks like original news. how new virus is spreading around the earth. It's called GodCon virus. and it's infecting people, and they're becoming happy and all this. So let us go back to our thinking. So it's very important to observe your thoughts from time to time so that you can check the quality of your thinking. Don't only think, but think about your thinking. Think, because if you become aware of your thinking, you can actually control your thoughts better. You can choose what you think. So it's really exciting. I mean, you can develop an amazing thinking process, or self-talk, how we talk to ourselves.
It's got Conrados now, I got it, I'm sorry.
You got it?
Yeah,
Yeah, I got
You
it.
didn't see it till the end, don't you?
no, it's okay.
From England, some devotees made it. It looks original, like CNN News or something.
Yeah, that's why I didn't listen to them.
No, I don't want to see the news.
Now, Shastra is actually an amazing resource or source of knowledge about psychology, because there is so much about the mind, and we can develop an amazing body of knowledge, like huge, like encyclopedia, how to deal with the mind, how to think, how to feel, how to desire. All these three scientific explanation about 3 + 2 functions of the mind: sankalpa, vikalpa, accepting and rejecting, making wise choices, what we will think, what we will feel, and how we will desire. So you can feel bad about something, but you can also change the way you feel. You may tell me, I feel bad about my mistakes. Okay, everybody feels bad about their mistakes. But now you can change the way you think about them, and you can change the way you see them. You can see, okay, I needed to make these mistakes to learn what doesn't work or what is not good. And then you see, wow, my mistakes become the source of my power, my mistakes become the source of my knowledge, my mistakes become the source of my wisdom, and my mistakes were so helpful in my life, because I learned what doesn't work. Therefore, some experts recommend fail forward fast. Don't be afraid to fail, because failure, Srila Prabhupada says, is a pillar of success. Failure is a pillar. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Of course, intelligent people don't repeat mistakes, but we will make mistakes. Bhagavad Gita says every endeavor is covered by some fault. Every endeavor is covered by some fault. But we want to learn and not repeat mistakes. So everything we have done so far can be the source of learning, the source of knowledge, the source of wisdom, and we can actually get better because of what we have done in the past. So you don't have to feel so bad about it. Of course, if you have killed somebody, it's really bit difficult not to feel bad about it. If you are conscientious, if you are like a good-hearted person, so you can feel bad about it. You feel bad about it, but or you can think, how do I feel about this situation? I mean, we have to be here, and we cannot have festivals. We cannot have. How do I feel about this situation? I say that every problem is an opportunity. Every problem is an opportunity for something. Every problem is an opportunity for some kind of service. And now, instead of doing service outside, we can do service inside. Instead of always thinking about what's happening on the outside, we can think what is happening inside, look within, what is happening in your heart, how to purify the heart, more time for introspection, more time maybe for deep conversations. Like devotees say, I don't have time to speak to you, and then because I'm busy. But now there is maybe more time to speak about life, about how we think and how we feel and what we desire, and this time can be utilized. Now this situation has slowed down everything, because this civilization is very fast. Everything is fast moving and this and that. But actually everything has been slowed down, which is good. Then also a lot of, as you know, a lot of pollution has actually, I don't know, some cities, because there is less driving of cars, then they become cleaner also. I heard that, what is this, some mountains you can see now?
Himalaya.
Himalayas, you can see them, yeah.
From 600 kilometers.
Basically, in Delhi, you can't see Yamuna river properly. Nowadays, you can see water in Yamuna.
Yeah.
Basically, it is covered with foam.
Yes, yes. So every problem is an opportunity for something. And every problem is an opportunity for service. Other people's problems are opportunities for our service. We should not think, oh, they have problems, it's, now I feel bad also because they have problems, they're suffering, and so now we are all going to die. No, you have a problem, great, let me help you. And then, and how can I help you? I help you that you help yourself. If I help you, then you become dependent on me, you always come to me, oh please help me 1,000 times. But I say, okay, I will help you so that you are able to help yourself. And I will help you how to think about problems, so you can help yourself. So, I can give you a couple of ways of thinking. If you come to me and say, oh, Akrura, can you help me with this problem? So, today I had a session, and the topic was teamwork, how to actually inspire a team. And lo and behold, you know that expression? Lo and behold? Lo and behold, I'm also not sure what it means. But it means like something like my God. Anyway, so what I do when devotees come with something and they ask me for help or ask me for advice, I ask them, and did you think about this? And they say, yes, but I didn't come up with any solutions. I mean, I didn't come up. I think you're smarter, you're older, you're wiser, you're more experienced. So can you please give me advice? And I smile and I say, no. But I will give you a way how you can actually think. So I say, write at the top of the piece of paper the question, how can I do this? And give me 20 answers. Oh! 20 answers? That's huge. I cannot come up with 2. I was thinking whole day or half day, and I couldn't come up with one idea, what to speak of 20 ideas. And then I say, you can do it. I believe, just start. Then they come to 5, they say, I have 5, is that enough? No. Then they continue thinking. And by the time they come to 20, most of the devotees are smiling, because they're happy that they can think for themselves. So I just help them to think. I don't give them solution. And when they get solutions from themselves, from their own intelligence, they are more happy than if they get solution from me. And then they also train themselves to think without me. Now they think when I'm here, because I said write down and think. But when I'm not here, if they do this exercise 10 times, then they will be able to do it anytime without me also. So they become independent of me. So to help people how to think is actually very important service. Yes?
Can we say that we're learning how to react on the problem? The reaction.
Yes.
Because reaction is thinking it's a bit...
Okay, we will speak about this also, about reactions, we will speak. Between stimulus and response, there is a space, and in that space lies our freedom to choose our response. Between what is happening to us and our reaction, there is a space, and in that space lies our freedom to choose how we react. And based on these reactions, we will get results. If you see a picture, you will actually remember this more easily. The graphic expression, description of this, like stimulus response. What happens and our reaction to this. So this is also related to how we think. If something happens, you can panic. And say, wow, this is happening, what should I do? Oh, or I don't know, I'm stuck, I don't know what to do. But you can actually think very calmly. I have one book called Crunch Point. Crunch Point means crisis. So this book says that every now and then there is a big crisis in our life. There is a lot of problems. You can lose your job, you can lose your family, you can have problems with your family, you can have so many problems. And this is normal part of life. And now when problems come, because we don't have so many problems, we get very much shocked because we are not accustomed to problems. But actually problems are normal part of life. Why? Because we are learning that we don't belong to this world and that we should look for some solutions, and that we should also be strong enough not to actually become weak because of the problems, because problems are not meant to make us weak, problems are meant to make us stronger. Problems are meant to make us stronger and to help us learn something when we face a problem. So if you think like this, okay, I have a problem, what can I learn from this, and how can I get stronger through this problem, or because of this problem? And of course, we can always ask ourselves, where can I learn how to solve this problem? Or from whom can I learn? Whom can I ask? So you go to Google and you write something, you find some ideas, or you phone a friend who knows everything. Now, there are so many aspects of thinking, and I will finish soon, but tomorrow we will speak about independent thinking. Independent thinking. That's very important, to learn to think for yourself, not to just be brainwashed or something. Prabhupada mentions this in one letter. Srila Prabhupada mentions this in one letter to Karandara in 1972, that he mentions about independent thinking. He wants devotees to think independently. This doesn't mean become independent of the authority, independent of the Vedic knowledge. No, it means to think for yourself, to use your intelligence, how to advance better, how to do better service. And we can speak about this tomorrow. I will read you the quote. Today we didn't speak about this, but tomorrow we will speak about this. There is so many, when you start observing your thinking, you can find so many ways. Like there is also limiting beliefs. So you believe something that actually completely limits your thinking and limits your action. I believe this cannot be done. How do you know? Why not? Oh, well, because of this and this and that. Are you convinced that because of these 3 reasons this cannot be done? Are you sure? I'm not sure. Yes, you're not sure. So you're not thinking very deeply. So one of the main problems in life is shallow thinking. Shallow thinking, you understand? Opposite of deep thinking. And when you stop and think deeply about anything, you can always come to a better conclusion, better understand it. So if you start to observe your thinking, you will actually become capable of improving your thinking. And your thinking can be more intelligent, can be deeper, can be full of wisdom, spiritual perception, it can be more spiritual. So how do you think about anything? How do I think about Krishna? Who is Krishna? Is he someone I'm afraid of? Someone who will punish me? Or he is someone I love or I want to love? How do I think about devotees? How do I think about food? How do I think about anything? You can observe, you can ask yourself. And the most powerful tool for thinking is actually questions. Powerful first-class questions. Today one devotee asked me to send him books on questions. So I sent him the whole whole folder. I sent him the whole folder, which full of books about questions, how to use questions. And in our tradition, actually, inquiry is so important. Jigyasa, inquiry, Vedic inquiry. Now, yesterday, my friend, he started a Facebook group called Vedic Inquiry. Vedic Inquiry. And there we discuss different important issues like child protection and women as gurus and different issues that are a little bit controversial. We started discussing child protection now and also domestic violence in ISKCON. So in ISKCON there is also domestic violence. You didn't know that? Like a husband beating a wife. Yeah, there are such things. I mean, 2 days ago I got somebody telling me about this. So we have to stop. We have to work to protect devotees, to protect women and children and anybody who is like weak. So Vedic inquiry is also related to how we can do things. And present situation maybe like this or like that. Maybe there is not so much understanding about the importance of this protection. But actually we still have to do something about it. We still have to do something about it. So there is so much to think about others, but we are absorbed in our own little world and little thinking and what is maybe next thing to eat. It's okay to think about eating if you want to choose a healthy diet and healthy preparations. But there is so much to think about how to serve, because this is our nature, our dharma is service. So we think about how to serve others, how to support others, how to protect others, how to help others. But first you have to help yourself and take care of yourself. So both things go parallel lines. Save yourself and save others at the same time, as much as you can. So thank you very much. Do you have any questions?
Yes, I have a question.
Yes.
So, that is control of the mind and all the things